Queens, Sam here. I hope that you're doing amazing. In today's video, I want to share with you 5 wrong reasons for building wealth. And yes, you heard me right. There are wrong reasons for building wealth. And in talking to people, listening to podcasts, I realized that there are many wrong reasons for building wealth. And I wanted to talk about some of them, at least the one that I hear the most. And you guys can let me know in the comments what you think of those wrong reasons and if there are any other wrong reasons that you know of. Because the earlier we know about it, the better it is for us, so we can address that before we actually become wealthy or financially free as per the standards. So let me go through the list, and I'll say that myself, I'm guilty of one of those wrong reasons, and one of them actually I was guilty of, but I actually worked on that, and I'm totally fine at this point. So I'll share that with you as I'm going through the list, and you guys can let me know as well in the comments below which one you think applies to you and what have you been doing to actually help you with that. The first wrong reason is actually when you hear people say, when I become wealthy, when I become financially free, then I'll stop worrying about money. The reality is, you worrying about money and you building wealth, it's not related. I'm pretty sure we all know someone who's really making a lot of money, is wealthy, has a lot of assets, and really is considered wealthy, as per the standard, but that person worries all the time about money versus someone who's not making that much, doesn't have that much, and that person really is chill, cool about, money. So again, becoming wealthy is not going to help you if you are someone who worries about money. And homegirl here worries about money. I am a warrior. Again, like I say, full disclosure, it's something that I'm working on because I realize that again, me reaching financial freedom is not that's not going to help me. So I'm working on that. I've gotten much better over the years, and I think for me it's mainly because financial security is a must for me, based on my childhood, my upbringing, and different experiences that I've actually seen through my younger adulthood. So financial security for me is a must. So I think I've developed over the years that mindset of really worrying about money that has served me at times. But now, like I say in one of my past videos that I've reached post FI, I feel like I really need to ease off a little bit on that particular aspect, and really being able to relax and cool a little bit more and stop worrying about money that much. So that's the first wrong reason. The second wrong reason is when people say, when I become wealthy, when I make more money, I'm actually going to start donating and I'll become generous. My idea of becoming generous or donating has nothing to do with you being wealthy. It's something that you have in you or that you don't have. If you have causes and charities that are near and dear to your heart, make the time, find the money, even if it's a little bit in your budget, to be able to help those causes and charities as of now, and then you can increase on that as you're actually building wealth. If you want to wait until you have a ton of money to actually start doing that, it will be hard for you because that's not something that you're actually already doing, that you are used to doing. And because we creature of habit, it's going to be hard for you to really start doing it overnight, or to do it at the level that you would have been able to do it had you started much earlier. So again, I'm pretty sure those charities and causes, doesn't matter how much you're giving them and in terms of your time and money, but just the act of doing it matters the most, and you can start contributing to those causes and charities as of now. Why do you want to delay that gratification, that achievement, that reward of helping whichever cause and charity as of now, instead of waiting when you actually become wealthy? Start doing it now. The third wrong reason for building wealth is when you hear people say, when I become wealthy, when I'm rich, then I'll start saving and investing. Similar to donating and becoming generous, the muscle of saving and investing is a muscle that you have to build over time. It doesn't become buffy overnight, right? Like, if you want, it's same thing as, going to the gym. If you want to have, like, decent muscle, you have to go, you have to be consistent at going until you start seeing the result. It's the same thing with saving and investing. If you're not used to doing it, you cannot expect, eventually when you become wealthy. And honestly, I actually doubt that you become wealthy if you don't save and invest, because I except maybe if you have an inheritance, you win the lotto, that's, separate. But when we talk about becoming wealthy and become financially free, most of the time it's by saving and investing. So if you're not doing it now and all of a sudden you become wealthy, it's going to be hard for you to do it. We have all heard of stories of people winning the lotto and going bankrupt within a few years because they just don't know how to manage that money. They're not used to it, and they're not going to become good at it just because they have received a ton of money. And I read an article actually, very bad advice. They were saying to people in their 20s that they don't have to save and invest because they're not making that much, usually in their 20s. But then as they get into the 30s and 40s, that's where they should be starting to save and invest. My point is, as you're getting in your 30s and 40s, most of the time, most people will also start buying houses. So that's mortgage. They will have a car loan. They still have probably the student loans if that applies to them. Most people will start families and start having kids. So young children, that means daycare. And we all know living in North America, it is not cheap. So at the end of the day, as you get in your 30s and 40s, yes, your income will increase, but at the same time, your expenses also will increase, making it even harder for you to save and invest. And if you are not used to doing it already, let me tell you, it's going to be hard for you to start doing it. You're going to brush it under the rug and then wake up in your 50s and ask yourself what happened. How come you don't have enough money to retire at the age you want to retire, and maybe find yourself working much longer. So to me, it's a very bad advice on that article, that in that article, and I really hope nobody who has read it actually took up on that advice. The fourth reason, wrong reason for building wealth is essentially people saying, when I become wealthy, then I can be happy. And to me, it's a red flag. Why do you want to wait to become wealthy and financially free to be happy? I'm not saying that money doesn't bring happiness. I do believe that money does bring a certain level of happiness. However, to me at least, happiness is not only about money. Again, I'm not saying when someone say, when I become wealthy, I'll be happier, which is different from someone saying, when I become wealthy, I will be happy. The switch is not going to happen automatically just because you became wealthy. Being happy involved, it's really a lot of things in there. Money counts, but also relationships, your your environment, where you live. So many things actually goes into it. So do take some time to maybe journal and think about it if you actually fall in this category, this wrong reason, because I don't think that becoming wealthy will make anyone happy, or not at least the true happiness as we all want to have. And the fifth wrong reason and last reason on my list is when you hear people say, when I become wealthy, then I can start buying things as the wealthy people. My question is, why do you want to buy the same thing as the wealthy people? Yes, we do see wealthy people, rich people buying mansions and yachts and boats and having private jets. And me too, at one point, I so wanted to have a private jet, but that's not really something that I see any value. Or maybe because I never really flew in a private jet, that's why I don't know. But I realized that homegirl here doesn't need any private jet to be happy. If that happens, then fine, but it's not really something that I'm looking forward to doing when I actually become financially free. So, again, take the time to ask yourself, why do you want to be buying those things when you become wealthy? And if that's really important to you, why don't you start finding a way to make it happen now, right? If the private jet is really important to you, maybe there is a way for you to rent private jet instead of owning one and see what the feeling is it, because you might do that and realize that that's not for you, right? So then you can move on to something else. So there you have it. Those are the five wrong reasons of building wealth as me. Like I say, I'm guilty of number one about worrying about money, something that I'm working on. And I'm curious to know, is any of those wrong reasons apply to you? Is there any other wrong reason that you know of, or that even for you that you think of? Please comment in the on underneath this video. Don't forget also to like the video so YouTube can push this content to other Black women on the platform searching for this information. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for the next video that I'm going to be putting out there for you. Until next time, keep on building wealth.